Hi guys, so it's Paul with Excel here. So check this out. We just got off our regular call with Facebook, and in this session they shared something with us that I think is going to be great going forward here, and I just feel like I should share it with everyone else. So two things I want you to understand. First of all, we're at the end of the year. So what does that mean? That means holiday season advertising for holiday products is now dead. So going forward, we're going to have really nice start of year, starting with the end of this advertising season. Now, number two is, and this came from Facebook. I didn't know this. I've never seen it before. Maybe you have, but it's something called the Performance 5. What is this 5-component system that Facebook uses? Basically, is that this is the criteria they use to generate your quality score. And obviously we know the quality score is what dictates our bidding presence on the platform itself. So what do I mean by this? Why is the quality score even important? Okay, so think of the quality score as your ranking within the Facebook algorithm. What benefits would you have from having a high quality score and a high ranking in the algorithm? Is number one, it's going to save you money basically by having good content. It's going to give you preference because when your quality score goes up, it's because your engagement levels are high. The algorithm says your content is good. It's going to give you a higher ranking. Higher rankings outbid others who bid the same. Let me give you an example. I bid $20 daily budget as my bid. You bid $30 daily budget as your bid, but my content's better, and the algorithm knows this. The algorithm is actually going to run my ads ahead of yours in the advertising system without even giving you the chance until mine are burned up. So understand the quality score is very, very high. You want to be ranked with that algorithm. Take advantage of all the benefits that come with it. All right, so let's do this. It's a 5-component system Facebook uses. Why don't we do a series of 5 videos, 5 mini videos, just to cover each one, and we'll see how we go with this. This way I can share the screen, I can go over exactly what they gave me and show you, bring you up to speed with everything that at least I know. So let's go. All right, so with the meeting with Facebook, what they say is, hey, you know what? If you've never done anything I asked you to do, Paul, at least do this. Which, by the way, I do what they ask me to do. I just like doing my own thing. Follow this link, and I'm going to put this link in the description for you guys, and do what's on this page. All right, so here's the link. Performance 5. It's got your 5 data points you're going to want to follow down here. They said if you can master these 5 components, you'll see big results for 2023 and therefore going forward. So, first one, let's go over Conversions API. So obviously something that sticks out immediately, 13% cost reduction on CPA. Whatever your CPA is, that's cost per action. Different people have different measurements based on their action. Our cost per action, our action in that case is our actual conversions, our lead conversions, and what we mostly do. But yours may be different. Understand that there's CPAs of different levels, I call it. So let's just consider each one a different conversion event, if you will. Your conversion event may be click through to the website or landing page. Your conversion may be adding something to cart when the customer gets there. Your conversion may be an actual fully sell, but your conversion events can all be measured individual utilizing Conversion API. It's always run alongside with the Metapixel. If you don't know what Metapixel is, just search that for yourself, but come back to this video and understand that the Metapixel is a piece of source code installed at the website level, and then Conversions API is a piece of code which will be installed at your server level, and these two are going to communicate. They're going to talk, if you will. So with the installation of this API on your server, this is going to allow you to send the activities and data which take place off of Facebook back to Facebook, so it can then be used to improve your targeting going forward. So in other words, we know this kind of person converts well. Let's go find some more of these guys. And click on this guy right here and run through it. So what I want you to see is something that's really neat, how Facebook makes it easy when you get into integrations. So see here, if you, and most likely most of you will be, are using any of these platforms right here, you'll notice that when installing the Pixel, when you go into your Facebook Ads Manager, it's quite simple to do. It's an instant integration tool with each of these partners here. So you're already off to a good head start for doing that. So Conversions API, guys, that's your next wave if you're not already doing it. So let's jump right into the second one, because see, for me, this one is the most difficult for me to play along, because everything in my being says individualize and shoot, individualize, target, measure by the individual level. But apparently that's not the case according to Facebook. Simplifying your ad sets is what they preach. So let's go back to the screen. So simplified ad sets. According to Facebook, it is a 41% increase in conversions that you can get by applying this method. It also claims to spend the budget more efficiently, which I would assume is why that 41% increase is claimed, but it also gets to lower your cost per action. I guess it all comes down to how you set up your campaign. So let's click in and see what they got to have in there, learn more. Coming into performance with the ad sets, keep the same creative within the same ad set. It all comes down to how you set up your campaign hierarchy. The concept Facebook says is the simpler, the better. So if you're running multiple ad sets, but with similar audiences or even similar creatives, it takes longer for this algorithm to determine who it needs to show your ads to, which of course will be fewer results. So consolidate your ad sets and combine the budgets. Yes, combine this stuff. So let's take a look at two use cases, since Facebook wants to bring it up, because it does have to do with overlapping audiences. Okay, use case number one. Let's say you have two different ad sets. Each has a different creative, but the audience for the two is similar. What this does is confusing the AI, so it's bogging down the algorithm. Obviously, you're going to get slower results, and it's going to run up your cost because of this. Use case number two, let's say you have two different ad sets, but with a similar creative for each of those two ad sets, and that you're actually targeting two different audiences, but still, the logic is to combine your audience and still run your ads, because you're still bogging down the algorithm, just squashing your efficiency. So work with the algorithm, not against it, is the concept. So bottom line, do what works with the algorithm. Stop competing with yourself. All right, number three, you could actually visit our brand awareness video back on our channel. We do a whole example of how this actually works. But broad targeting. Sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Shouldn't we be detailed targeting, drilling in on our audience? Let's see what Facebook says. So broad targeting, Facebook claims, is responsible for a 12% reduction in CPA. Now, looking at their Learn More tab here, what we're trying to do here, in essence, is let machine learning work for you. Okay, we're going to lower that CPA. We're going to reach more people that are likely to convert, more likely customers to convert. That's always a positive thing. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but you may think you want to narrow down to a detailed audience, but the reality is that this is not how you're going to find your target audience using today's Facebook. Okay, two main points to make here. You have your learning phase. We're all familiar with learning phase, but the AI, it starts with a broad audience and needs to start measuring engagement and user behaviors and kind of drill down from there. It's going to sort and figure for you. It's like we discover an entire demographic that we have been neglecting by doing this same thing. Okay, by the time the campaign gets out of learning phase, which by the way, it's storing that information, it's hanging on to that and leaving it in the campaign and always basing its next move off of what it already knows. It's pretty cool, huh? So if it's found your targeting for you, just let it run. It's a delivery system. It works best when the size is between 1 million and 10 million people, because if it's too small of an audience, it'll never leave learning phase. Plus, another thing to note, don't quote me this, but I believe to get out of learning phase, it's a requirement of 50 conversions within a certain period of time. But either way, that's a whole nother topic. Just let the algorithm work for you. Starting to be rhetorical, isn't it? So, how do we do this? You go down to your ad campaign and you're going to turn on your advantage targeting. So this basically is your switch to switch on the AI and let it do the job. I love it. Why do I love it so much? Because it's going to do the work for me. I don't have to do the research and make my adjustments. The AI's got me, right? So there's 3 things that we'll set. That's it, okay? I'll set the age range. I'll change the gender if I wish to do so. But number 3, I will set the location that I want to display my ads, the geographic locations on the map. But no detailed targeting. I'm telling you guys, it's the way to go. Set it and forget it. And how do you monitor this? Just simply use your insights. Just watch it move, watch it go. Test your hypothesis, see what happens. But I'm gonna tell you, if you're anything like us, you might learn something you didn't already know. Go watch our brand awareness video. You'll see what I mean. All right, moving to number 4 of the Performance 5 top 5 ways to conquer the Facebook algorithm for 2023. Mobile friendly video. What is that? Vertical format video. Let's see what Facebook has to say about it. So Facebook claims this is responsible for a 12% reduction in CPA. If you're like us, we didn't run many videos 2022. We ran mostly still images, had great success, and actually did not have much success with our video. But now Facebook says not only run a mix, but when you create your videos, vertical format's the way to go. 15 seconds or less. And I'm gonna add a 3rd one to that, text overlay. Why is that important? You ever notice how some people, or most people really, listen to Facebook audio with the sound off? Maybe they're at church, maybe they're in public, maybe they're at work. For whatever reason, they got the sound off. So without text overlay, they cannot fully engage. And again, from our old lessons, why do we want them to engage? Because Facebook's measuring this stuff. They're not going to engage in something if it's intended to be heard and they cannot hear this. So they're going to swipe away quickly, right? So your engagement is being measured by how long they stay on that video. So you're losing traction by not having a way to keep them on that ad. Now let's consider those other 2 components, the vertical format and the 15 seconds or less. Why is this important? Because these are the qualifications of Facebook Reels. Okay, Facebook Reels, Facebook says, is their most prominent now. Most people are getting stuck in Reels. I mean, if you're like me, I just wanted to see the ending of that one little video short. Now I find myself swiping away and can't get out. This is a very big thing to learn. Understand that and take advantage of it. All right, so let's finish the page here. Connect with customized creative. So what Facebook means here is use Advantage Plus creative option. Just turn this on, and what it does is it creates multiple versions of your ad. It actually gives different looks to the same people by doing so. Facebook will automatically do this. It'll make certain adjustments like color combinations, contrast, even different text placement locations on the ad. So it's definitely something that if you're wanting to do more showing with different looks without having to make all these individually yourself, this is what you're going to want to turn on. Not to mention, it's easy to make this sort of video just using your smartphone. All right, let's do it. Number 5 of the 5 Performance 5 metrics Facebook uses to determine your quality score, rank you in the ad system, and set their algorithm to find out where you stand. Okay, and number 5, by the way, this is the one where you have to put in the work. This is not the time to let the algorithm run. This is where you come in and grab the bull by the freaking horns. Okay, ad testing. Facebook wants to see A/B testing, and yes, the algorithm knows if you're A/B testing or not. Let's read about it. Facebook claims that this is responsible for a 30% decrease in your cost per result. I don't know about you, but I could use a little cost decrease on my expenditures. So according to Facebook, this lowers your cost per action, this increases your performance, and for you, it uncovers the best strategies. So you got to think about it. What can you test in this situation? Okay, you can test ad creatives, you can test your audience, you can test your placements, you can test locations, you can test questions in your lead forms. But something I think is really critical to understand is where it mentions here, one at a time. So run testing while changing only one of these components at a time, a distinct component too. This way, when you pick up on a change, whether it be a positive or a negative change, you can definitely identify what is working, what made the change, and what's not working. The other thing to take note to is running tests for at least 2 weeks. So ask yourself, why wouldn't you just turn on the campaign, you're testing a component, and run it for today, switch it off tomorrow and measure results? The reality is simple, and I'm sure you know this. It's not enough metric data to form any type of analysis on this. So what you're going to do is you're going to let the algorithm do its job. By the time the 2-week period is over, it should have figured out what's going on with it and see what type of audience you're going to really need to measure your testing by. So 2 weeks, might be able to do it longer if it's a brand awareness campaign, but for 2 weeks running should give you at least enough information to determine whether or not to make a change. So I'll share with you an example of a test that we ran that came back some results that might be damaging to my little ego. You'll see what I mean. So the test was with an ad for the financial services industry, okay? The same ad was ran across the board, the same funnel. The only difference was in the lead gen form, before the submission button, we introduced my profile. Literally my profile face. So the other ad in the test had my business logo. So the test was to see which would yield a higher conversion if the client knew which one before they hit submission. And damagingly enough, my mug run them off. The conversion rate was so much higher when they knew the entity that would be reaching out versus them knowing the individual advisor who would be reaching out. Damaging maybe, but I take it for what it is. It was actually a very good test we ran, and that was the only component we tested though. There was no other component changed other than that. So take that for what you will. Hopefully that'll help you guys out. It helped me out a lot. I won't put my face on another ad, I promise you. But that was a great test to run. Run your own test similar and see what kind of results you get. That is the Performance 5. And Facebook themselves are telling me this is what they're going to go. If you want to conquer that algorithm for 2023, follow these 5 metrics to beat Facebook ahead of their game. Go win it. Hope this works. Hope this helps you guys out. See you on the next video.